Anjaneyasana, or lunge pose, is a resting pose that stretches the hips, thighs, and legs while calming the mind and relieving stress. We'll start standing. I'll have you turn to face the front of the mat. You want to be at the top of the mat. You're going to leave your left foot forward, lower the fingertips down to the ground, and step the right foot back. Once you get the right foot back, you want to make sure that your left knee is directly over the left ankle, and then you can lower gently the right knee down to the ground. If you've got knee stuff, knee issues, the patella is tender, then you can always choose to double over the mat, especially if your mat is particularly thin. You could also use a blanket underneath the knee if you need it. With hands down to the ground, I'd love for you to feel the depth of the pelvis down to the ground so that you're really feeling there's that energy of taking you down in the pose. You can have the back toes under or toenails touching down to the ground, depending on how your knee responds to the curling of the toes. And then keeping the belly strong on the inhale breath, you'll reach both arms out and then straight up to the ceiling. You can choose to let the palms press overhead if that feels okay on the shoulders. You can gaze high if it's okay on the neck. And then once here, the real tendency is to let the thighs kind of relax, and that right leg pulls the right hip open to the right long side of the mat. Instead, you want to feel an internal rotation of the right thigh, which pulls the right hip forward. That pulls the left hip back, and then you're getting this really deep squeeze of the inner thighs towards the midline. And you're wanting to balance that toning in with the relaxing of the pelvis down to the ground. Good, and then we'll take a couple more deep breaths here, making sure the core is engaged so that the low back stays free of strain. And then on an exhale breath, you'll release the hands down to the ground. We'll lift up off of the back knee. You can pull the right foot forward to meet the left top of the mat, and then just take a little forward fold. The head and the neck get heavy, relaxing towards a symmetrical pose after Anjaneyasana, which is an asymmetrical pose. And then as you're ready, you'll slowly rise back up to standing tall. And here, if you want more in the pose, you can try Yana Mudra, the gesture of wisdom. You'll fold the index finger to the thumb on both hands, and then the other three fingers stay outstretched and close together. You can keep the arms resting right at torso height. You can also turn them upwards. There'll be some positioning that feels natural and organic to you. And then close the eyes down. Make sure that the touch of the index finger to the thumb stays toned. And as always, as many breaths that you want here in your mudra.